Good evening, America. Today is an unfortunate day. It's the day Asteroid War occurs. I'm sorry to say this, but we're probably not going to survive this event due to how many asteroids there are and the sheer size of some of them. I would like to thank everyone who has been watching us for the past years, ever since CNN was founded. I'm sorry we didn't make it to 2030 like we promised. And for the future ahead, I'm sorry that we could have listened to a valuable person, but it's too late. It's the end. Happy Judgment Day, everyone. God bless America.
We interrupt your programming. This is a global emergency. Important instructions will follow. Global alert. Global alert. Global alert. This is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the United States Geological Survey, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the United Nations, in conjunction with the National Weather Service. This is a global emergency. All regular programming has been suspended for the time being due to an ongoing global state of emergency. The President of the United States or one of his designated representatives will be speaking on all stations shortly. Please stand by.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. I really wish it was a good evening. Over the past 3 weeks, 3 asteroids were detected out of orbit and were later identified as Harvester 24, SA-24, Chicago 26. NASA pulled out a plan to nuke the asteroids to prevent collision. However, 1 week later, more asteroids went out of orbit and were approaching 5 deadly asteroids. These names include Asteroid 456, Aster East, Hector, Sari 2X6, UV69, and somehow we're colliding with each other. It is still unknown how this enigmatic phenomenon happened, and the unfortunate news is that the asteroid belt, including Ceres, will collide with Earth in the next 1.5 hours after its alert. What will happen when the belt impacts is that mega tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and firestorms will occur in the entire planet. Then the planet will develop Kepler syndrome, which means Earth will never orbit a star again. And the sun will be blocked for 1,000 years, resulting in a winter temperature drop, even though Earth will be like Venus at that time. Sadly, my Americans, this is the end. For anyone in the world that is still alive, gather your friends, family, pets, or anything you cherish, embrace for annihilation and certain end. If you're praying for your religion, pray to your god or goddess. The president has selected a quote to be read on the air. There's no big apocalypse, just an endless procession of little ones. Goodbye. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.
That was a message from the President or one of his representatives. May God help us all, and may God bless America.
Well, in about an hour or two, the Earth will die. This belt will impact the eastern United States, specifically in New York City, New York. This belt will cause devastating damage and pretty much scar Earth and not become habitable pretty much in 1,000 years, or probably even ever. Now to think of it, because of how many materials and rocks are going to be thrown at us. But this is all your fault, government. You could have listened to me. I've been part of this NASA group ever since 1989. I was only 17, and I was the smartest person everyone knew. I joined it because of my space passion. I had a gift, my mother told me. I was able to communicate with asteroids and actually tell them about our life, about the consequences and how Earth should be stabilized. It was unique, but you didn't listen. You just thought it was funny. You thought I was just going crazy. You thought I was on some drugs. But no, I was right. I predicted this on this specific day. I predicted it. I was gonna say goodbye to my family before I went off to my trip, but now it doesn't matter anymore. My birthday doesn't matter anymore too. It was in 2 weeks from this day, but it doesn't matter. I was gonna go see Dr. Starr. I was gonna marry her, but it doesn't matter. I had a future planned. I had everything planned, but it failed because of you, the government. You screw things over. You just want to make people mad. You just piss them off until they stop it. You just like your TikTok and all that distraction stuff and think everything is not real. Do you not be aware of the dangers of space? Do you know how astronomical and how fragile Earth's life is? Do you know how fragile that is? I feel like you guys don't. You just suspect everything is a digital world landscape with AI and stuff. And to you Republicans, fuck off. Because you guys are the worst moronic people ever. This is literally idiocracy all over again. I knew that movie was warning us about our future if we did not think wise and choose the right people in our government. But you also cut our funds, which is not even funny. You just cut our funds that would save our people's lives. I wanted to save y'all. I wasn't being crazy. I was giving basic information and specific information that would help us for our safety and guidance. We could have been free. We could have been young and wild and free, as they would say. But you ruined it. You just had to ruin it. You just had to blame me. And now I'm in this room recording on the day after Independence Day, just screaming my lungs off, crying and all that stuff, and releasing all my anger on y'all, cause you don't listen. My name is Dr. Skylar Blue, a veteran of the NASA program ever since 1989. There was no more love. There was nothing left. Everyone was crying. Everyone was screaming. Everyone was saying, God help us all. Everyone was saying, government, do something. But there was no answer. There was nothing left. There was nothing left to do in that final hour. Before the impact happened, everyone was saying their goodbyes. Every nation was playing their national anthem for the final time. Everyone was crying. Everyone was calling everyone when there wasn't any service anymore. They tried, but failed. But one man was able to send his transmission out to show his rage, his hatred, his anger at the government for not listening. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't an artist. He wasn't some rich person that was spoiled. It was one scientist who worked at NASA. One scientist. His name was Dr. Skylar Van Blue. He was working at NASA for over 35 years.
to show that he knew asteroids. He knew they had a voice. He knew they could talk because of his gift. He could understand them. He was a complete protector and lifesaver to humanity. However, during this tragic day, the government didn't listen to him anymore. They said, "Oh, thank you for the data," and dipped. This made Dr. Blue angry, raged, lashed out in complete hatred against the government, just for their uselessivity. And he screamed, he cried, he tried, he was kind, he knew everyone. And it didn't work. He felt hopeless, but he knew his voice was the only thing he had left. He used it well in the final hour. On July 5th of 2028, the belt impacted New York City, New York, vaporizing everything in its path, making the sky light up with red and dark crimsonness and evilness. The earth burned. It died away, withered, due to how many volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, firestorms, shaking, flashes, Kessler syndrome occurred. Earth was no more. She was no longer what she used to be. She was uninhabitable, couldn't orbit the sun anymore, and is now a roaming dirt planet that is hot in space, no longer providing life. No humans survived, not in submarines, not in underground bunkers, not in anything that would protect them in the final hours. They didn't have enough time to escape. Humans were dead, like they were destined to. But at least one voice, one singular voice, will be heard in the echoes of space. And that is Skylar Blue's voice. And how he was right about everything. And it will be heard for many, many generations to come. And aliens will observe Earth and probably wonder what the happened. Good night. Forever.